All right, here we go. Let's go. I've got a great, great video about to come up. I'm sorry, I'm looking at some notes here. Um, so I do want to fully go over. Hold on, let me make sure this is the right screen capture. Display capture. Yep. All right, so this right here. Dude, oh my gosh, man. I'm so excited to make this video because I have like an hour of free time finally. So, going off of yesterday, we did not have any news. How do I go to like previous day? Yesterday was Wednesday. We had news at like 8:30, and then anything past that was not really anything big. I didn't even take into play the 10:30 news. I'm really pissed off about my performance from yesterday, and I'm going to dive into that. But I want to get straight into technical analysis real quick. So yeah, yesterday was a freaking small loss. I overtraded. Really, I did not overtrade. I was so cluttered. I had a couple glasses of wine the night before. I was just cluttered, whatever. So, let's go all the way to the daily to see exactly what's going on. So, this was yesterday's price action. So, alright, cool. I think I can get into this. So, what I wanted to see, so we stayed under this candle's body, so we manipulated up through right there, and then we closed below, so I'm bearish. I then wanted to see us stay below this candle's body, because all we did was we pushed up, we tried to manipulate buyers, we then closed back below the range, probably on the 4-hour time frame. So right here, that is exactly what I was talking about. That is clear manipulation right there, guys. I wanted to stay under this level, and that's exactly what we did. We took out previous candles wick, and then we closed below this range, which is on the daily, the body of Tuesday's body. So anyways, so that's exactly what happened. We then swept minor internal liquidity. We tried to manipulate up. We could not. We are also respecting a 4-hour order block right here. That's how I use an order block. I'm not saying that's the right way or whatever, but that's how I like to use it. So now we have the hour time frame. So literally all that we did was we swept liquidity right here, we closed below, and then we closed above around market open, around 8 to 9 o'clock. We hit this order block right here, which is just these two down closed candles. I like to go from wick to wick. So why I like to do that is because we stayed under 50%, we stayed under equilibrium of this order block. That's bearish signatures. So as soon as I saw that, right, I said, okay, if we can close below this, that's going to give me conviction to move down lower. So now let's go down to the lower time frame. So awesome. So now on the 15-minute, what did we do? We came in, we closed above, we took out the previous candle's high, or the high of the wick, and then we closed back below. Then we inverse the fair value gap. So Drew, why did you not take this trade? If we just respected a higher time frame bearish signature, which is an order block, and we also just inverse the fair value gap, why did you not take this trade? I do not like to trade from 9:30 to 9:39. I want to let the market breathe. I just, through my back testing, I get chopped up during that time, so I stay away from it. it is higher probability for me to have a better day to not trade during that time. All right. So then let's look at past 9:30 open. So we come down, we create a bigger 15 minute fair value gap. I can now close that, which is again, all right. So what happened? This is the 5 minute time frame. I'm gonna bust it down to the 3 real quick. So I'm going off of this 5 minute fair value gap. That's what I'm using with the 3 minute analysis, whatever. So we end up flushing all the way down. So what we did was we manipulated, caught buyers, and then that generated liquidity for us to take out internal sell side once again. So now let's go to the 1 minute time frame. This is the trade that I should have taken. That's why I'm mad, right? I want to delete that. This right here would really be like break even. So I had this on my trading view practice account, and all that I did was I fibbed up this premium wick right here. Why? What caused me to do that? Because I know that there is stuff in there that we are going to respect. So going down to the 1 minute, this is what I'm talking about. So I just like to fib that up, and all we're doing is just looking how we're reacting off of this fair value gap right here. Okay, and so I just chose to do that using a fib instead. And so what we did, we swept. I'll go over this in a second. And then we came up, we respected this, we respected a higher time frame fair value gap as well. We took out previous highs, and then all I'm waiting for is just a solid change in the state of delivery to take a sell. So, but that was at 1400, so that was 2:00 p.m. I was at work, so I wasn't looking at that trade, but I was expecting us to run up back into this premium wick. So now let's go over the trade that I should have taken. All of this right here, I got chopped. Basically small break-even trades. That's all that this is right here. And I'm proud that I did not take a full-size loss. I was just cluttered. And really, that's why I did not want to take this trade, which was a good call by me, because I realized that I was in like a cluttered mindset and I did not want to trade during that. So I hopped off the charts. Literally, as I saw this candle right here, and that gave me the bias of wanting to buy. So since I did not end up doing that, hold on, that I don't know why that got deleted, but so what did we do right here? What did we do right here? Why was I able to formulate a proper bias right here? So what did we do external wise? External, we swept major sell side liquidity, which means we closed below and we closed above, right? And we also have internal manipulation right here as well. So as soon as we come up, we inverse the fair value gap. We now have swept sell side liquidity and we have closed back inside of the range. So now I'm just looking for a candle, I like to call it a mechanical entry. It really is mechanical once you're able to see it. And I think I was looking at it on the 30-second. So the reason why I trade the 30-second time frame, or I'm able to trade the 30-second time frame, is because I'm able to understand price action when we're that low, right? So what's happening in here? I'm fixing to go over the proper entry model right here that I should have taken. So what do? We have now inversed the fair value gap on the 1 minute. And then we also have a bearish order block right here. So right here, this candle right here tells me a lot. We have swept internal lows, really just basing it off of this candle. We have swept this wick, and then we closed above. While we were doing that, we also inverted a fair value gap. And note how we did not go lower than this right here. That's telling me we are now respecting bullish signatures and we are wanting to push forward. So as soon as we come down, we sweep previous candles wick, we close above, we invert a fair value gap. I'm now looking for this order block to be held, and I want to see momentum price action to where I can have a proper sniper entry. So let's go back to the 1 minute to really get another perspective of it. This right here would have been my ultimate entry right here. So we have respected the order block. I'm now waiting in a solid change in the state of delivery. This right here was more so like a cut line to show that we are now manipulating this internal sell side as well. So as soon as we close over that, which was this candle right here, that would have been my solid entry. Stop loss would have been below the order block. And I am now wanting to go break even right here after we sweep this internal high, which we do that. We come back down. We possibly would have gotten stopped out right there if we would have moved to break even, which I think would have been the right thing to do, since we closed strong below the 20 EMA and the 9 EMA, and we tapped back into our entry price. And then after we did that, what happened was we caught enough sellers to then come up and liquidize their stop losses, which caused a rally. So I only use my EMAs during the trade, while I'm in the trade, because it helps me stay in longer. So stop loss would have been at equilibrium of this premium wick, and that would have been a 2.5 RR of 52 points. But it's just like, I'm so overdoing the shoulda, coulda, woulda stuff, you know. And then I went over this as well, and that's really what happened during the session. I'm kind of mad at myself because I don't know why I was in here trying to take trades. It was not good. Usually what I like to do is I like to go to the 3 minute to see if I really should be trading during that. You should not be taking any trades during here. This is complete consolidation. It's consolidation because we stay within this high and we stay within this low. And then we sweep that, we come back up. I don't know if I took a buy right there, which was a bad entry. And then we come down, manipulate, respect bullish signature, and then we go up from there. And then as soon as we tap into that, we then just have a big sell, big drop off into a bigger time frame gap. And I think that was a 30-minute gap. Yeah, so 30-minute gap, which we hit almost to the tick. So now, going into the psychology side of it, this is how I grade my trading performance. So Wednesday, which was that day, which was yesterday, I observed the market to the tick. That is where I excel the most, is in my observer phase. My execution phase is where I did not do a good job yesterday. So that's why I had 2 points, minus 2 points. And then since I wasn't really able to have a proper trade, I'm putting not available for my manager and my closer, because we just closed somewhere around break even or whatever. So right here, I'm always hard on myself, but how I like to grade this is just be logical and objective as possible. Did not have a proper execution. So throughout that day, it's just going to be 0 points. Okay, and so what I really like to look for is I want to have 7 to 8 points per day if I take a trade. So, let's see. Monday was a great trade. Tuesday, let's go and see our Tuesday analytics. Tuesday I did not take a trade, but I did take a practice trade on my trading view. So that's where this kind of comes into play. So even though I did not take a trade, I still observed, executed, managed, and closed the position how I wanted to. And that was a 1 to 3 risk to reward for 40 points. So I'm not going to give myself 8 points because I did not live trade. But I am going to give myself, let's just go back, let's say 2 bonus points for that day. So right now I'm sitting at 10 points for the week. What really helps me a lot is to go off of my psychological points instead of my P&L. It helps me identify my performance rather than just being emotional looking at my P&L. Right? So that's really what happened. I wanted to go over that real quick. I would love if you guys could look at that for yourself. So I have 4 topics that I also want to go to psychology-wise. One is going to be questions to ask yourself during the trade, okay? So this is literally, let's say that we are live trading right now, right? This is me hovering my finger over the buy or sell button, okay? So if I'm looking at an entry and I'm hovering my finger over the buy or sell button, I ask myself, would I be proud of taking this trade if I win or lose? Am I going to be proud of this trade? Bro, if you're jittery, if you are shaky, if you are anything but calm, I am not going to be proud of taking that trade. So I'm not going to take that trade. Then I would just click off. Okay, cool. And I want you guys to really exercise this. Exercise this during back testing. Exercise this during forward testing. Also during live trading, most important. So 2 is questions to ask yourself. Also before the trade. So we just went over questions to ask yourself during the trade. Actually, I butchered that. Okay. That was during the trade. Sorry. So, okay. Start that over real quick. Questions to ask yourself before the trade. Should I take this trade? Am I going to be proud of this trade? Yes or no? Simple as that. What is my game plan? And what is my morning routine? So my game plan is to observe the market. Am I respecting bullish or bearish signatures? Am I paying attention to structure? Are we very sporadic off the open? Do we have news? That's the game plan scenario for day-to-day trading, live trading, okay? So now is questions to ask yourself during the trade, after you have executed. These are the questions right here. Where do I need to go break even? How many positions do I need to take? Would I need to take partials? Or am I expecting a really, really good, is there good volatility in the trade to where I can expect a 100-point move, a 150-point move, stuff like that. So that is question to ask yourself before the trade. And questions to ask yourself during the trade, right? So now we're going to go on to 3, the third topic, questions on what to say after the trade. Okay, this is huge. This was one of 2 of my aha moments. Questions on what to say after the trade. Trading is not my identity. No matter if I win or lose, no matter what my P&L is, no matter what my psychological points are for that day, how am I going to act post-trade? And that is acknowledging that you are a trader, but trading is not your identity, brother. Your identity, or really, just for me, I just really want to reflect on this. I don't want to say you. I'm talking to myself, and you guys are hearing it. And I want you guys to apply this to yourself. Questions on what to say after the trade is, it evolves around your identity. My identity is to love others no matter what my P&L is. I am a trader, and trading is not my identity. That was my aha moment. That is where I have peace, because I'm not trying to find satisfaction in my trading performance. I'm trying to find satisfaction day to day on am I loving and showing love to others? Am I serving others? That's why I wear this necklace right here. That goes down to your faith. I encourage you guys to read, pray for spreading the gospel, and pray for order in your life, because if this is why, okay? So you know the graph of, like, you have a circle and you write something in it, and then you have a branch with other circles. You have a branch with other circles. If the middle of that circle is trading, you're going to have stress, greed, depression, because you're not achieving what you want to, and you are not going to be healthy minded. If the center of that circle is trading, you're not going to treat other people right, because you just lost you're red for the day. You are greedy because you didn't execute how you wanted to. You know, you might have had a couple of bad losses in that week. So replacing those negative habits with healthy habits is, you need to have love in that middle. Shout out to Justin Werlin, man, because his video that he just posted it literally changed my life. I know that might sound cringy, whatever. The middle and your identity needs to be love. Spreading love to others, no matter what my P&L is, no matter what my business is doing, no matter how stressed I am, no matter if I'm sleep deprived. The middle of that needs to be love. You are made by a loving God, and you are supposed to serve others through His image. That's why I pray that you guys, I pray for you guys, whoever watches this channel, is to exercise your faith, and you have to respect the curious mind. Question it. Question, why am I pissed off all the time? Because I'm losing all the time. And that's because you don't have proper order. And that all goes back to the questions on what to say after the trade. If the middle of this diagram is love, it does not matter what your P&L is, because you are then making trading revolve around love instead of making love revolve around trading. That is proper order. Your identity is not to trade. Your identity is not trading. Your identity is love. So, one more topic is kind of going back. So questions on what's going on after the entry. So questions on how to manage your trade. Are we respecting bullish bearish signatures? This right here, bearish signature, right? What are we doing structure wise? Very fundamental, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, wham, right? And are you maximizing your gains instead of just exercising your gains. So what that means for me is basically this trade right here, right? So if I was taking two positions, I would have taken off one at break even. I would have got that 1R. Cool, right? So if we throw on our EMAs, how can we maximize our gains? So let's say that right there, we take off one position. Let's say that we were watching it cross over the 20 EMA, but it's not momentum. We are just basically consolidating. So let's go and let's see if we keep expanding and if we then dip down with momentum below the EMA. The correct closure, or my correct version of getting out of this trade at a proper time would be getting out after we cross the 20 EMA. That is with context as well, because if it is an A+ entry, it wouldn't really matter if you crossed over the EMA or not, because you have so much conviction that we are going to that take profit, right? Which that right there is very hard to do. That is how I manage my trade. That is how I try to secure as much capital as possible, right? So those are my topics that I really wanted to go through. All right, I got one more, and this is golden. This is the one I was praying over last night. You have to create a system inside of the system to win. You have to establish borders and rules to go by to protect yourself. So inside of this system of trading, you have to create a system to protect yourself and to win. That has to be a successful system. If you don't know how to manage the trade, that is a lack in your system, and the market's going to eat you up. If you don't have a proper entry protocol, if you don't have a system for that, the market is going to eat you up. If you don't know how to close the trade properly, the market's going to eat you up. You're going to kill your RR. And if you don't know how to observe right, you are going to fall in manipulation every single time. Also, so another example of this is, let's say that you are a boxer, right? So inside of that system of boxing, once you step in that ring, what is your defensive system and offensive system to protect yourself to where you can be as efficient as possible? Bro, if you don't know when to slip or when to back up, you're going to get hit by that left hook, bro. And that's why you have to be disciplined to that system inside of the bigger system, or either you're going to get knocked the hell out, brother. Like, that's the end of it. That is, you have to create a system inside of the system that is profitable. That ideology is profitable. So let's say this. So like an example for borders that you need to establish to protect yourself. Let's say that you have a dog. That dog digs under the fence in the backyard and he goes wandering. He doesn't know where he is. He doesn't know how to avoid traffic. Obviously, he can probably get hit by a car. He's going to get lost, and the whole town's going to be looking for him or whatever. If that dog stays within that fence, he is protected. You know? And you cannot say that you cannot be curious or protected or have freedom within that fence. I 100% have freedom over this market because I stay within my system. You have to stay within your system to protect you from getting liquidized, which is the bigger overall system of trading. That's it. That's going to be the video today. I hope you guys found this informational, and I really, really pray that you guys will exercise what I've taught you, because my whole thing is I want to truly serve as a token to others. I truly want you guys to be successful. And I don't want for you guys to have to go through the time and the pain that I went through I want to make this journey a little bit easier for you guys, and I really want to I just want to serve you guys. You know, I hope you found this informational. Please exercise the concepts that I've talked about. And yeah, man, Happy New Year. I've got big plans this year. I really hope, I really want, and I really am going to execute 5 to 6 figures this year. And I want to bring you guys along the journey. So yeah, Happy New Year's, Merry Christmas. We wish you guys the best. Bye.